about race. It's not about race. Hold on a second.
Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
Guys, there's this trend on TikTok. I've been going on TikTok about this sign, Angel basketball game last weekend. I find this particular. I don't want to talk much first. I want you all to watch this video because this particular black woman actually explained the whole scenario. So I'm going to play this video to the end and allow you all to watch and have an idea what is going on.
It's not about race. It's not about race. Hold on a second.
Just got done watching the women's basketball final for college hoops.
Did you now?
And there was a disrespectful act done by an LSU player to Caitlin Clark of Iowa.
Oh my, what could it possibly?
Angel Reese knows a ring is coming. Now this is classless. We do not want to teach this at all for young athletes.
Oh wait, we don't?
As Caitlin Clark, yes, may have been cocky and may have done things to the other team in previous occasions.
Previous occasions like 2 days ago.
After a win is done, that you go over to the opponent that dropped a massive amount of points on you and come at them and taunt them.
Oh.
Disrespectful and a classless act by LSU here.
Disrespectful and classless? But wait a second.
We love to see a good clapback, right? And no one does that better than Caitlin Clark. I mean, just a couple of days ago in her game against Louisville, she basically told Haley Van Lith, you're down 15 points. Shut up. We're going to go talk to some of her teammates to see what are some of their best Caitlin clapbacks or best motivations.
Let's see.
Let's find out. The last game when she was like, you can't see me.
Oh.
That really got everyone fired up. When she gets an and one, she like go like this and come to the bench and she'd be like, let's go. That's pretty fun. She gets pretty fiery in our timeouts. You know, she might even clap back at us because she wants us to play with that same fire, you know, and sometimes we're pretty even keeled, some of us.
That word again.
She's like, let's go, come on. Drive on the board, whatever it may be. She always will just come to me like after a timeout, before like a tough stretch, we think, and she'll just like give me a little bit of extra reassurance. Honestly, I think the last Elite Eight game, I loved that she did the John Cena thing. I think that was so cool.
So it's cool when Caitlin does it and she gets a whole segment on ESPN about it. But it's a problem when Angel does it and she gets called disrespectful and unsportsmanlike, yeah? But hold on, let me let Angel talk.
But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing.
Oh no, baby girl, they say something. They say, good job, Caitlin, and she fires up the team. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you finish.
Y'all don't say nothing. So this is for the girls that look like me. That's going to speak up on what they believe in.
That's right, baby.
It's unapologetically you. And that's what I did it for tonight. This was for the more than, it was bigger than me tonight. It was bigger than me. Twitter is going to go in a rage every time. And I mean, I'm happy. I feel like I helped grow women's basketball this year. I'm super happy and excited. So I'm looking forward to celebrating in the next season.
Boom. Baby, when I tell you I love Gen Z, I love Gen Z because they are not afraid. They are not afraid to speak the truth. They're not afraid to speak the truth in public. And they might be our only hope left to keep us from turning into this Christo-fascist hellscape that these old white people are trying to turn America into.
Hold on, one more thing.
Of it, white people, you constantly and consistently move the goalposts to accommodate your mediocrity. Y'all were all about trash talking when Caitlin and the majority white team of Iowa was on top. But as soon as black girls get out there and sun you and let you know for a fact you cannot see us in this sport, you get in your feelings. When y'all disabuse yourselves of the lie of white supremacy, we'll all be better for it. Trust me. When Caitlin was on top, trash talk was fine and worthy of a highlighted segment on ESPN. When Angel was on top, trash talk is unsportsmanlike. Please fix yourselves because the hypocrisy is exhausting. At the end of the day, I wish you all would just say what you mean and mean what you say. Because writing all these think pieces on sportsmanlike conduct and tying yourself in knots using circular logic to justify your hypocrisy is ridiculous. Just say you think Angel Reese is a uppity.
So now you get it. Sometimes I feel like when a white person is doing something it is touche, it is beautiful. Everybody want to do it. Everybody want to act like that. But when a black person start doing it, you're dirty, you're ghetto. Like, ew. It's like, ew, what was she doing? And this also appeals to when it comes to dresses, when it comes to style, fashion. You know, I don't know why it's like that. A lot of black community, black creators were stitching this video, and I'm going to share with you all so that you guys will watch and let me know what you think down in the comment section.
It's not about race. It's not about race. Hold on a second.
Just got done watching the women.
That video is an awesome deep dive into this whole Caitlyn Carver, Angel Reese situation, but also there's a bigger power shift at play here. White men are losing their grip on power, and they recognize that, and so they're trying to recruit other people, whether that's men or other white people, under the guise of you're better than other people. And this whole thing is an attempt at, they see women gaining notoriety in a sport like basketball that previously women didn't have as much notoriety in, and then they seek to create division based on race, so that their goal with this is for there to be a war between black women and white women about who was right and pit us against each other, because this is what they've always done. The thing is, we're in a point in history where I don't think it's gonna work anymore.
It's not about race. It's not about race.
One thing I love about white people is y'all are always shocked when you white people. Like, I've noticed that white people are new to white people. You're not new to the rest of us. We knew. We understood what was gonna happen. But white folks, 48 hours. Not a whole week. No, like, didn't even have the, talk about classless, talk about lack of decency. Like, 48 hours. You saw the same thing, almost exact contacts. And you know what else is gonna happen? When it's time to distribute high-paid opportunities, that ESPN segment will be used as proof of audience appeal. And this controversy will be used as proof of a controversial figure. Why? Because white people.
Women's basketball final for college hoops.
Did you now?
And there was a disrespectful act done.
When you get a chance, go back and watch that video. Very entertaining. The queen broke it all the way down. Okay? Won't y'all just say, stay in your place? That was a disrespectful act. When the other girl did the same thing days prior, that is a perfect example of, it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it. Y'all know the rest of the words. Don't even understand. I love all people, but the blatant double standard hypocrisy that goes on every day in our faces. But it's not about race. 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 It's definitely about race, and it should not be. Do better. Do better. You might as well say, you better go in your place, girl. Girlie. Girl, you stepped out of line, girl. Let's act like it's 2023. Good night, guys.
Top. Trash talk was fine and worthy of a highlighted segment on ESPN.
So Tarika is my sister, and Tarika is the reporter that is in that clip. And I hate the fact that my sister's moment is being used as a gotcha, because she wasn't defending Caitlyn and she's not talking down on Angel. It was This is what we do in the sport of basketball. And this is what she's doing. What are your favorite moments? The fact that that moment is being used, like, I'm trying to be like dignified about this, but it sucks when it's people you know being used for gotcha moments. It really sucks. It really sucks.
But when other people do it, y'all don't say nothing.
I think it's hilarious. Two women doing the exact same thing. One of them gets praised and an ESPN spotlight, and the other one gets dragged. One of them is white. The other one is black. But that's not the thing that I want to bring up. I want to bring up what this creator was talking about. How, if you watch that video, you watch the young lady, who's a person of color, speak out and say, you didn't talk to them about it. I am so excited for Gen Z. They are some of the most driven, ambitious, relentless generation I have seen, because Gen Xers are cowards. Millennials are kind of fat and lazy. See, these Gen Zers, they're a different breed. When I was in high school, there was one mass shooting. It was Columbine in Colorado. And I went to school in Colorado. So that hit us something deep. That cut us deep. But these Gen Zers, they have grown up their entire lives wondering if they're not going to make it out by lunch. They wake up with a different level of concern that none of us other generations have experienced. I feel like now that these Gen Zers are coming into adulthood, they just don't give a shit. And they're not afraid. Because they've grown up in the war zone that all these right-wingers have been trying to create for years and years and years. It's like the whole cop conversation when they say, well, we got to back the blue because it's a war zone out there. It wouldn't be a war zone if you would create some legislation that would, I don't know, help people. Because, one of the leading causes of crime is poverty. And all y'all do is keep everybody fat, sick, and dying and poor. And it's like a third world country out here. Y'all don't want to ban guns, which for a fact works to prevent gun violence. But you want to arm teachers and you want to arm kids like it's a third world country. Y'all created a ruthless generation, and you want to stop them by stripping them of their right to vote.
Oh, wait, we don't?
As Caitlin Clark, yes, may have been cocky and may have done.
May have been cocky. Bro, she literally stood in the lane and waved the player off at the three-point line saying, we're not worrying about you shooting. May have? Look, I love Caitlin Clark. She is a bad girl. And she is great for the sport of women's basketball. Her energy got matched. I don't want to hear, well, Angel Reese did it to her. Caitlin Clark just did it to her team. It's the same thing. Point blank, period. Quit trying to justify what Caitlin Clark did. If you can't handle it, don't try to dish it out. Let them play. If you can't handle it, don't do it. Angel Reese just matched energy. Y'all just better handle it and move on.
It's not about race. It's not about race. Hold on a second.
No. You hold on a second while you're bringing that into this. Let's go back to Memphis and Bowling Green, and where there was an altercation in the handshake line. That wasn't picked up by ESPN. How come? We all know why. Because it doesn't fit the narrative. Doesn't get views. They can't go that route. But when ESPN picks up on it, makes this whole, it's all about race. Reese shouldn't have done that, blah, 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 blah. It's just talking smack. It should be left go. I don't think any of them should be left go. Caitlin Clark shouldn't have been left go. Reese shouldn't be left go. And I'll tell you who else. Mulkey shouldn't be left go to run into and push an official during the game. But what are you going to do? It's water under the bridge now, right? Here's the issue. The standalone difference between the two is that Caitlin Clark did it to her bench after time ran off the clock. I'm a basketball official. I'm not giving a tech to someone who is celebrating whatever way they celebrate once the clock has struck zero. Reese, phenomenal player. LSU, phenomenal team. Literally took, I think I've seen videos, it's 15 seconds or so, walking around while the clock was still had time on it to get in Caitlin Clark's face. Clark handled it like a champ. She didn't care. Not to mention the time before that, while they're standing on the free throw line. You're comparing apples and oranges. You really are. But regardless, if Clark did it during the game while there was time on the clock, she should have been given a T. Reese, same thing. Should have been teed up. The coaches, both sides, coming onto the floor, interfering with the officiating. 100% worthy of a technical foul. You don't know the game. This is about the game. I'm all about talking smack. Talking smack is different than what Reese did during the end of that game. And no matter which player did it, whether it was Reese or Clark, they both should have been teed up. 100%. But instead, the only person who got a technical was the one player who tossed the ball to the nearest point where that ball was going to be taken out of bounds. Yeah. You need to learn the game before you can comment on the game.
And there was a disrespectful act done by an LSU player to Caitlin Clark.
I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not really a sports person. What I am, though, is an autistic person who's interested in analyzing social dynamics. And this is something I've wanted to talk about for a while. It's not just me analyzing this from an autistic perspective, but a lot of sociologists and other folks who study this have talked about how white people perceive Black anger. And I'm not even gonna censor the words in this because I'm fucking tired of saying palm colored. If this doesn't get views, this doesn't get views. I don't really care. Anyhow, I'm not even a sports person, but I can cite so many other examples of the difference in treatment that Black athletes get from white athletes, specifically when it comes to expressions of anger. We've seen it with Serena Williams. She can't throw a tennis racket, but how many other white tennis players have we seen throw a tantrum on the court? Same with how Naomi Osaka expresses herself. So many, and those are just female athletes. There's other examples in the sports world as well, but I feel like it has something to do with this fear of Blackness, especially expressions coming from Black people, that I'm pretty sure stems back from history where Black anger was seen as something dangerous, as an uprising. From my perspective as an Asian American, specifically an East Asian American, it's weird that, and this is just my thoughts and my observations, but I feel like someone who is femme-presenting, white people see that as a danger, but it's fetishized. And I can tell you from my own example, when I post angry rants, I get so many thirsty comments from white dudes on those rants, and I can tell they're fetishizing my anger. And it's not just my videos. Time and time again, we see how whites perceive Asian
femme anger as something alluring, the dragon lady, etc., etc. Whereas when it's from an Asian man, it's demasculinized, seen as weak, something laughable, etc. I don't know what the point of this was, but I'm just sharing those observations and how dangerous those perspectives are because they are rooted in bias and stereotype. Okay, bye.
So cool.
So it's cool when Caitlyn does it, and she gets a whole segment on ESPN.
Please go back and watch the entire video. I've been waiting for someone to put the best compilation together because I just didn't have time today. And it's perfect. It takes the ESPN stitch and a couple of others in between. A really good video. I don't have much to say, but I know that most of you know where I'm about to go with this. I just want to know when ESPN is about to do their segment on Reese. When is that happening? Are we getting that? Because I'm confused at this point. She got a ring. She's a champion. She won. We getting that? I just want to know. That's my first question. If we're not getting that, then we need to have another conversation. But be clear. I've been following this. I've watched all the tweets and all the responses. I've collected all the things of the ways in which people talked about her. Even Keith Olbermann himself made a crass comment watching it for the first time, made a follow-up comment about it doesn't matter what gender it is, when that is completely not true. Lied about not knowing what trash talking is when it comes to sport. And his last sentence, I probably have to go look it up in a second because I was pretty annoyed after he gave his apology. And actually you know what I'm going to do? First off, this is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to get that freaking whole quote unquote apology that people are basically saying that he has integrity. So this is his apology after his couple of tweets. Let me tell you, he has been feeding his stream about Agent Orange 45 so he can avoid the back and forth that's happening here. I've seen repeated after retweeted tweets about MTG and the indictment. But at the top, he says, I apologize for being uninformed last night about the backstory on this. I don't follow hoops, college, or pro men or women. I had no idea about Clark. By the way, this is a lie. He's done sports before. Pure lie. This is gaslighting 101. But then he clarifies and says they are both wrong. You know why he's saying they're both wrong? Because he called out the black girl and someone pointed out that the white girl was the one that not only instigated, but there was like a whole segment on it. But this is what he said in his countdown. So I'm going to grab that one a little bit closer just so you can pause to read. But I also want to make sure that we see the last sentence. You can see all the bookmarks, how many views, how many quotes. But this is what he actually said in his podcast. And I want to make sure you pause to read the first half. Because I find it fascinating that he's like trying to give them accolades. And we know what this is. Here, I want to give the accolades at the top, but here's the kicker at the bottom. Just the fact that women's hoops has now achieved parity with the men. Its stars can be classless winners who are willing to overshadow their own team's victories. So I'm just going to let you know, if you're repeating classless, which is what you said before, and a whole bunch of other things, please explain to me who he's apologizing to. That's the question for me. So first of all, not only is this gaslighting, but you need to understand the context of what happened. Again, there's many other videos out there. When it looks like it was a black woman harming or being disrespectful to a white girl, everybody was up in arms. When they realized that the white girl was actually the one that started it, actually the villain in the story, then we had to do, well, they were both wrong. Now, you've seen many of my videos, and we've had this conversation about when the gaslighting happens, because the accountability is not being set with the person who started it. The accountability is being set, still landing on Reese. The one who won, by the way. The one that we should all be like celebrating and elevating. But we can't do it. You know why? Because the team is a predominantly black team. LSU. Centuries, I mean, I think about 10 years, sorry, not centuries, about 10 years of no wins, and they finally made it. And they were all okay when they felt like that LSU was the underdog and just had no possibilities. They were fine with that. They were fine with the arrogance and the double speak and the, you know, the way in which that trash talking was acceptable. But when a black woman does it, now we have to talk about the trash talking in a different way. We need to talk about respectability and make sure that she is not making the white dominant girl team feel bad. Now, in reverse was absolutely fine. No one cared, no one bothered. But the other way around, the rules changed. And I'm trying to tell you every time when I call this out, not only is that gaslighting, but you are purposely changing the rules. That's supremacy. Because the rules do not apply to all of us equally. It only applies to a certain group of us. And until we start understanding that particular narrative, we will still be here. The fact that Caitlyn is seen as the innocent one, the damsel in distress, we're going to still be here. We cannot have unity under this framework. Just remember, we are all watching, and most of you are publicly printing what you're thinking, and some of you should pause before speaking. I'm just saying.
Hey guys, my name is Maria David, and this channel, you can put down your opinion down in the comment section. Your opinion are allowed. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think down in the comment section. I personally love the way Angel handled the whole situation. This Gen Z people, this Gen Z generation, they are killing it. Like, they're actually killing it. I love the way Angel handled the situation. She wasn't just hiding into that shell. Like, she came out of like, oh, see, I just love everything about that girl. And yeah, that's it about this video. My name is Maria David. I said earlier, share this video if you find it helpful. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.